we're quite literally, this is the first day of the XFL is right now. It's happening as we speak. First weekend of the XFL. I think it's hard for me to believe that the multiple football leagues could exist outside of, or multiple professional football leagues could exist outside of the NFL. I could see there being space for a niche league where, like, yeah, when it's off season of football, there are diehard football fans who will watch football. Like,
yeah, there should be football in the spring.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
But to try and make two leagues, two separate, football leagues, and then they're also coming out with like Arena Football League, which is a totally different sphere, it's a different sport.
But they're all going.
Is the USFL still alive?
Yeah.
Well, they're coming back. That's what the XFL is coming back this year, as well as the USFL, and it's really hard for me to see both of them catching on and actually being able to sustain. Well, that's what you've seen. The XFL has launched 3 separate times in the past 6 years.
Yeah, I think a good excuse was the COVID excuse was a pretty good excuse.
That's pretty fair.
That was the AAF. Can't really build a league during global pandemic, but
very tough to accomplish.
Very hard. I think it was the AAF and the XFL both came back, and then COVID hit.
Yeah,
right?
That is tough. They did kind of run up against a wall.
But there was like a 15, 20-year span where there was no league besides the NFL. Because the league dissolved.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is running the XFL now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the way you got to go is just get
a star attached.
Entertainment centric. It's wrestling. We need professional entertainment.
We watched him out there with he wasn't wearing pads, but the jersey on.
Yeah, The Rock
making
comes
a
out
speech
in a jersey.
before.
I want that at every. Can The Rock be at every single XFL game?
Did you guys see what the XFL kickoffs are like?
I have not.
So the 2 opposing teams were lined up on each other on the 30-yard line, and they can't go and try to tackle the guy until the returner touches the ball. But they're 20 yards away from the returner.
Oh, okay. So they're not. It's not a full running start.
No, yeah, it's not. And I guess is that like a safety thing?
It's like you don't have a guy running full speed at you.
Yeah,
it's almost
for
like a
60
play.
yards.
At the same time, you just kind of get like a free play more so than a kickoff. If you're just already lined up to be ready to block.
Yeah.
As soon as he touches it, then you're pretty much playing tag at that point.
Yeah.
I will say from personal experience, kickoff return is the worst. I got 2 quick little personal experiences.
Here, can I jump in?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Guys No Ball podcast. My name is Bryce. To my right, Josh. To my righter, Seth. Episode 1, again.
Episode 1 again.
We hope to release maybe episode 1 one day.
No, epis's going in the archive.
Yeah, it is the
Maybe
archive.
we'll see a couple clips.
Yeah.
You'll definitely insert a clip.
All right, we're calling that. I like the product they put out. First, for the inaugural episode.
Hey,
I feel like
loaded.
Yeah,
We were loaded.
No real pauses.
No, we were killing it, dude.
Still looking for a name.
The viewers need to come up with our name. How about that? What do you guys think? After watching this episode.
Wow. It's good. 3 guys sit in a pretty empty room.
You say that's the name.
You can't trust the internet to give you a name. Internet's filled with
Well, I assume it won't just be random internet people watching our episode first. It'll probably be some people that...
Yeah, if my mom comes up with the name, please put it in the comments.
Like, my cousin will probably watch this. My step-cousin would definitely watch this.
We got some girlfriends that will tune in just for the...
They'll tune in and probably watch for 3 minutes.
At least 3 minutes. Probably just skip through
And
it.
then they'll be watching while I'm in the room. Yeah, as soon as I leave.
I'll be showing it to
turn
them
it
like,
off.
isn't this awesome? We talked for a whole hour straight.
No, seriously, listen, there were no pauses.
I swear, I didn't expect us to be so good. I think we're...
I was thinking about that halfway through the episode. I was like, you know what? We're bringing up some pretty good.
You know what?
I think we know ball.
Guys know ball.
I don't think anybody's gonna watch this episode and be like, these guys don't know ball.
I like guys know ball is
Guys
pretty
know ball
funny.
is pretty good.
That's pretty
Guys
funny.
know ball kind of encompasses what we're aiming for.
We got
fake it till we make it.
Yeah.
Oh, we come out first episode swinging. All right, bye.
You guys know ball.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Nice.
That's no ball episode 1.
Not even talk ball. It's guys they know ball. They're gonna talk about something, but they know ball.
It doesn't matter what kind of ball it is.
Yeah, I like that too. They just know ball.
Dominic Fletcher has done it. Got a receiver in the end zone. It is caught by Arkansas. London Crawford for the lead. Huge shot. How about that pause tonight, folks?
Boom. Done.
At
we go.
the 10-year anniversary of the Guys No Ball podcast, you're
Yeah.
gonna see episode 1, and it's full version, and have a full appreciation for it. But just like great teams, just like great civilizations, Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
This Razorback basketball team, they've looked bad at times. They've had performances
Real
they
bad at
probably like
times.
to wipe out, but today they came and brought a big win, just like the guys who know ball.
Yeah.
We're bringing that energy.
We're taking that
same
win.
energy today.
Yeah.
It was a rough start to the day, but we're bouncing back. We don't need to get into it, but
Yeah.
we're bouncing back from it.
Yeah, I mean, just
We
like
like to have
Americans
fun.
have bounced back, day
Countless.
after
You got to
day.
go back to the drawing board.
Countless times.
We say we have audio problems. Boom.
Boom,
Boom.
handled.
Done.
Handled. We
And now
went
we're-
out and we got it done.
We did get it done. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but we have to do some intro at some
Yeah.
point. So
Well, yeah, we are the guys who know ball. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty undisputed.
We know ball.
Self-titled and self-regulated.
look
but,
under the resume.
Who are you going to argue with that? Like,
I'd like
Oh,
to see
oh.
you try to argue with
Yeah,
the guys.
please.
oh, you think we don't know ball?
What are you?
You know who doesn't know ball? Jimmy Dykes doesn't know ball.
We're
Jimmy Dykes doesn't know ball.
we're handing you a resume under qualifications. Knows ball.
Knows ball. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Either you know ball or you don't. And
There's varying levels to it, and we fall in those varying levels.
Yeah.
that's
That's all
absolutely
we
right.
needed to say.
We might not know all the ball.
Definitely not.
We might not know 100% correct ball, but we
Wouldn't want to
know
lie
it.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's good to share that ball knowledge with the world.
We got to
really.
bring it to you guys.
Yeah.
We're not going to keep all this ball knowing to ourselves.
Ball knowing, all knowing, ball knowing.
Omnipotent ball knowing.
Omnipotence probably. I will not. I'm gonna back away from myself being an omnipotent ball. I'm gonna go ahead and separate myself.
Personal.
Yeah, not the omnipotent one. Just some of the ones.
Just we know ball. It's pretty simple, cut and dry.
We know ball, and if you do, I think you'll appreciate what we got to say. And
Yeah, stay tuned.
yeah, probably have some input later on. I mean, we're a huge group on feedback,
Yeah,
on
let us
input,
know.
on other people,
Please.
just contributing and being a part. I mean, we want to build a ball knowing community. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to up everyone's
I
ball
like
knowledge.
that. We even have a name right off the bat, coming out with a name for the community we're trying to build, the ball knowing community.
Yeah.
It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, like who doesn't want to be part of the ball knowing community? I
Yeah.
mean,
You don't even have to talk about ball.
you just know ball.
Just in the background, we know you know it.
Yeah, it's nice to
We'll
be
let
known.
you know if you know.
Yeah, you can mention it every now and again, but it's not the most important thing.
The good thing about knowing ball is it's kind of internal. You kind of have to believe that you know ball.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
I think it's
100% a
100%.
confidence thing. Yeah, you gotta be confident you know ball. You can't be like, I think this might be how the game goes.
No, you ride with it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Jimmy Dykes because I think he's really kind of on the fence. He's one of those, he tries to project his confidence. He's kind of one of those insecure. I think he's a little insecure that he
Yeah.
doesn't, like he knows that he doesn't know ball, but his job, like his literal profession is to know ball. And so when you don't know ball and then like that's what you get paid, a lot of money to do. And you're also in front of a large studio television audience.
Huge production going behind him, kind of knowing ball.
A little bit.
Yeah, knowing Paquito ball.
Un poquito. Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah, we're not big Jimmy Dykes fans. We've talked about it a little bit.
it'll get talked about more. It'll probably get brought up.
It'll get brought up. Yeah, I didn't want to jump on it. You were telling a story about the XFL.
Well, I
interrupted.
just want to we got onto kickoffs and kickoff returns, and that really is like a terrifying just proposition to sit back there and have a guy running 60 yards, head full of steam, unabated. Like this guy has just been running, straight down the field, 40, 50 yards, full head of steam, and you're just kind of sitting there stationary, kind of ready to get just blown up.
Yeah.
So this is first ever play of. Now, to be honest, I know a little basketball. I probably know a little more football in the in-depth side. I'm a vibes guy.
You just need to know one.
I understand what's going on. But first ever varsity football game. Little sophomore. I played a lot of special teams. I wasn't a stud for the team, but I was a special teamer. We play this private school first game of the year. Kickoff, we're getting the ball first. So kickoff return, my first ever varsity game. I'm in on the first play.
That's big.
Oh,
that's big time.
Big time. And let me tell you, I'm excited, but I'm also shaking in my little boots. And so, on kickoff return, you pick out your guy. You're like, okay, I have the fourth guy coming down. Like, I know I have number 23. Like, that's my guy. I got to block. Well, it just so happened that was this other team's starting running back.
Ooh.
Just a beast. Like an absolute stud. And I'm sitting there. I'm like kind of third line of defense. I'm pretty far back, but not all the way to the very back. And ball's kicked. I get to my spot. I turn around, and as I turn around, like this guy hits me so hard, he knocks me all the way over. First play ever. Like I was just itching, like so antsy, so anxious, so excited. And he's got 50-yard head full of steam and just knocks me off. Now, I kind of did my job. I occupied him a little bit, but it was a pretty tough. It was a pretty tough way to just get thrown into the fire there. But so kind of to the other point, I could see that it might be a little safer to look at some of the alternates to the kickoffs.
Yeah.
Reducing, like I'm very pro in sports, like trying to reduce injuries, especially like head injuries and stuff.
Of course.
And if there are ways we can kind of make, like, is anyone really, kickoffs are kind of fun, but honestly, like, most times it's a touchback. It's not really that, like.
As a Cowboys fan, you might think a little differently. Having some good returners.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you have good returns, but like they're so
just a dangerous
kind
play.
of few and far between.
Yeah, like it's fun to watch when that happens. That's like we watched the Chiefs-Eagles game, the Super Bowl. That was a huge special teams play. Changed the entire outlook of the game.
But a punt is a little different.
Punt's a little safer.
Punt's a little. Well, I don't know if it's safer, but it seems like a more integral part of the game.
Yeah.
You just scored a touchdown. You could easily just say we're gonna set the ball on the it's not.
Yeah.
Like a punt's truly a part of. This is fourth down. You could technically be going for it. Now you kind of bring in. You have onside
kick.
Yeah. So, I don't really know the full answer of like what's the safest thing ever, but it's kind of fun for leagues like that. May be a great spot for the XFL. To try out some experimental rules, to try out some different things. It's like, hey,
that's what they're doing.
And the NFL is slow to incorporate things, like slow to change. They're not very reactive. That could be a huge benefit of the XFL. Like, why not? Like, after week 1, you're like, hey, this didn't work. Like, we're changing the rules by week 2.
Yeah.
It's not like this whole rules process. It's like one dude's like, hey, this didn't really work. All right, I'm rewriting it real quick. New rule.
That's the best part about the spring leagues in general is – they're trying to build a fan base.
They have to.
And the whole point is how do we make this as entertaining, safe, but entertaining as possible. And the kickoff is one thing. Okay, it might not work. What can we add in throughout the season and having that freedom to be like, hey, we can do whatever we want on week 3. Doesn't have to match anything on week 1. Not enough people were paying attention on week 1.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be cohesion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
You can just kind of like actually implement and have a test, like a true test subject of any plan you want, which is kind of why those leagues are so interesting. And, the fact they have a lot of players that
you recognize a lot of the players.
Yeah.
Well, us being ball guys, we've watched a lot of college football over the years, a lot of NFL.
A little too much.
Probably, a lot of players that it's an awesome activity in just naming random guys that you saw play a game 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember him playing. We were talking about a quarterback from Texas A&M Commerce. It's like, oh, yeah, I
Luis.
remember him at college. Like, yeah, he was amazing. He broke a bunch of records.
Shout out Luis Perez. Come on the pod.
Luis Perez, yeah, big shout out there. Let's throw some of his stats up real quick. He's thrown a touchdown in like 6 different leagues.
Yeah.
Like not different seasons, in truly different leagues.
He's the switch. He ignites these leagues.
The only one he's missing is the NFL.
Get him to the NFL.
Yeah, get him to the league.
Yeah, I remember actually when because that Texas A&M Commerce team got a bunch of steam. This is after Carson Wentz has come from lower league into the bigger league, lower league of college football into the NFL. Helped win a championship in the NFL, and Luis was dominating people at Texas A&M Commerce and had a chance to make it to the NFL. I don't know what happened. We'd love to talk about it. Well, that's my pitch. We'd love to talk. We'd love to get you into the NFL.
You know ball.
Yeah.
Luis, you obviously know ball.
He knows
probably
ball
more than about anybody.
Yeah. Football for sure.
He knows a lot of ball.
And that is kind of the XFL, USFL. These are kind of it does bring out the true hardcore guys because it's the lab. Like it literally is the ball lab.
Yeah, it is the lab.
And so it's awesome to watch and see kind of how that develops. Similar in a kind of back to basketball, which is probably where we want to really steer most of this.
Right before we go back to basketball, I did put the USFL in the rundown sheet.
Oh, nice.
To mention the fact that Alex Collins, someone close to home, is
We all know
playing in
about
Memphis.
C3. Wow.
Opening day.
Memphis.
He's one of the best players on the team.
He's got to be. I mean, he's
He was
a
in the
legit
league, like,
He's in
NFL
the
running
league
back.
recently.
2 years ago, yeah.
I'm still kind of confused on
He was a starter.
just running backs longevity in the league. But
Yeah, running backs
Yeah,
do
some
kind
good
of
years
like
with Seattle.
His specific play style of running back too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
probably lost a step. But April 15th, Memphis.
Day before my birthday. We're going.
happy birthday. Josh.
It was-
Little
I have-
Memphis trip.
To be honest,
Adios,
I've
dude.
kind of scheduled
What
this
is
to
it?
be in Fayetteville, April 15th for the Tennessee baseball
that's right.
weekend, as well as the Arkansas
Ooh.
spring game. So a little double ball action.
We'll be somewhere.
just a little
Somewhere
teaser.
giving you guys ball.
for everybody.
We're giving you guys
We'll
ball.
be somewhere
birthday.
April 15th.
We'll be on the road giving you ball.
No, we got to get up to Fayetteville. I didn't know those dates overlapped.
We'll probably be live from the Hog Pen.
Yeah.
I could
Hopefully.
definitely see us being.
Hopefully on the grill, mic'd up on the grill.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
nice. That would really bring out some. That would be really good for ball content of
Yeah.
just.
Everybody loves food.
Guys who know ball usually do love food.
Yeah, that they do
Seth
kind of.
cooked up something fantastic that he shared with the Twitterverse. I had to let the people know that Seth also knows food.
Oh, Seth knows food
Oh,
big time.
we know food on
Big
the
time.
side. We know food. We might know ball, but we live food.
Food is an everyday.
Food is life, man.
I eat a lot of food.
Shoot, I've been doing this every day, bro. I've been knowing.
Started with my mama.
shout out to my
Shout
mama.
out moms.
Always like that's
Oh,
just,
for sure.
the guys know ball, love moms, man. That's the thing. You know who we are.
We're just setting the ground rules of what guys who know ball also might
Guys know
possibly
ball,
know.
love moms, eat food, man. Come on. No, but I was wanted to say the one different sphere. This is back to basketball. The Elam ending. They do it in the tournament. So
yes.
the TBT tournament that they play, and they do it some other places too. I know. But the Elam ending, and I'd have to get really refreshed on the exact rules, but essentially at a certain point in time, because sometimes basketball games, especially like the last 2 minutes, last minute, can get, even really good games can get kind of just drawn out, long and stale.
Yeah. Usually a team's not in it.
Yeah, usually if they're down, but it's not when they're down by like 3, like that makes sense to foul and stuff. But when you're down by like 7 and you start fouling to extend the game, and sometimes it works. Like every now and then you have crazy comebacks because people miss free throws, stuff like that. The Elam ending, essentially at a certain point in time, with 5 minutes to go in the game, you take the leading team score, you add like 10 points to it, and then that's your number.
Yeah.
So the game ends. It's not a timed event. It's you're now playing to a number.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the All-Star
Which is
game.
kind of cool because
They did start to do that in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing the All-Star game.
Yeah,
been
they've
doing
done
for
it
the
a
last couple years.
few
It's
years.
a pretty exciting that way you have your
Super exciting.
You have your number. It's like, hey, we get to 75 and we win this game, even if you're down by 10. You know,
Yeah.
you just know I gotta get
Dig in,
I
get a
gotta
couple
get to there
stops.
first.
Get a couple stops.
So it's kind of just like we were saying about the lab. Like it is an experimental and creative way to change a fundamental rule. Like obviously changing how you end a basketball game is crazy, but it's maybe not as crazy as you would think. Like
No.
sometimes it can provide for really, really exciting finishes.
And it does. It does. Some of those TBT games have come down to, you've seen teams, because they take the winning score and add points to it, or the winning teams at the moment, time, add points to it. But you've seen that losing team understand what is now on the table. Hey, we got to go on this run right now.
Yeah, it may be a 30-8 run.
Yeah.
Like, you may need something crazy, but that's what we need.
Yeah, that's what you need. You start to see that desperation even more so than kind of, I don't know, there's something about putting a finite score on things which works a little differently than a finite set time where you see.
And it's very different. In some ways it's really cool. Like baseball has a cool aspect because there's not a timer. You know, it's not necessarily defined by a time limit. It's not 60 minutes or whatever. Fun part of the sport. So it kind of brings a little bit element of that where it's like there is no timer. Like we're just going to the end of this. Like we know where the finish line is. We're going to the end. Now I think you can't have overtime. Correct? There's no
In the
overtime
Elam,
in the
no
Elam.
ties.
Yeah.
No, can't
So
be.
that's kind of interesting, but you're almost.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already in that kind of sudden death period. Like that kind of is. You're just like
That is kind of like the overtime.
once you
I'm
got
not
that,
a big fan of regular season overtimes anyway, most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
It's an interesting take.
It could be too hot. It could be a little too hot. I don't know. There's something.
It's pretty spicy. I mean, overtime's pretty awesome.
Overtime is fun. Usually, I don't know. Maybe overtime's affecting the game I want to see. Usually, that's when
Okay.
I'm seeing a
Okay.
lot of overtimes. You don't see them that often, but when you're tuning into a game and you're like, man, Razorbacks are playing 6 o'clock. Got my food ready. Mom's by my side. Game's in overtime. I don't want to see that. I want to see the Hogs.
Yeah.
Get up and go.
Yeah, that is a huge problem, and that would be a gripe I have with maybe just scheduling as a whole.
Yeah.
Is man, we're just we're trying to pack 10 pounds in a 5-pound sack sometimes. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to put college basketball games at this point in time with, oh well, maybe it's your fault too because you give us an under 16, under 12, under 8, under 4 timeouts. Like we do not need that many TV timeouts in one half. Like
Yeah.
give me an under 12. No, let's say under, I don't know, what would be equal, like under 14, under 8,
14 and maybe 6. Even.
14 and 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I could even go for 3. Like I'll even give you under 15, under 10, under 5.
Well, then you still have timeouts to use.
Yeah.
You still have.
Yeah.
You see a lot of teams in with 2 timeouts
Yeah.
because they had so many TV timeouts.
It's just absolutely
Kills
anyway.
momentum.
Back. So ESPN, they schedule a game for 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Well, the game at 6 o'clock, it never ends at 8.
Never.
I mean, it never ends at 8. There's nothing worse than turning on. And this is kind of back to the endings of basketball games where it's like, I'll turn on a game and be like, all right, Razorbacks start in 5 minutes. This game has 2.5 minutes left to go. Well, that 2.5 minutes is the long. I mean, it lasts 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the last minute, and it's worse too when you know the team's not going to win. Like kind of like what we were talking about. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're down 8 with 12 seconds left. The Hogs started 10 minutes ago. Stop fouling.
Oh, it's a true. I mean, that's the pro of the Elam, right?
Yep.
A foul is a point given up.
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
And so you're tacking them down. There is no fouling to stay in the game.
Yeah.
You gotta-
not giving points
you got to
up.
play.
You got to play.
Yeah.
And fouling's part of the game.
Fouling is, and free throws are part of the game,
Yeah.
and like that's always been part of basketball, like being clutch and making free. Like, and I like that. I mean, I'm not like saying that's obviously I love basketball. Like, and I know basketball, so obviously like I know that works and that's cool. But it is fun to at least kind of see some creative, thinking going into some of the rules that we have. Like,
Yeah.
Would
sports,
you like to actually see that be put into place in like the NBA or like college basketball someday, or it's just kind of something fun to
I
think
wouldn't
about?
mind it. I
Yeah.
don't really know. It would be a huge switch. Like
It would
to
be
truly,
crazy. Yeah, it would be crazy.
I would like to go to a Euler game, the OVC conference, and kind of like, they know what they're playing for. the game is still the same. You're playing to beat the other team to a certain point, whether that be a highest score, whether that
or
be
the end of the game.
The end of the game, yeah, or a determined high score. Why not try it out in a smaller league,
Yeah, start out with
It would
a smaller
something.
conference?
it would throw some absolute
Yeah, the G
heads
League.
in the blender.
Oh, people
Like
would be
I
so
can't
pissed.
imagine going to the first Arkansas game with an Elam ending and how confused every single person in that gym would be.
Arkansas fan base.
Arkansas
The basketball
fans,
fans are, I don't know every
the
fan
basketball
base in the
and
country.
the baseball fans in Arkansas fans
and the
are
gymnastics fans.
some of the most passionate
Yeah.
is inherent, and that goes for football too. But knowledgeable,
Yeah.
I would
No,
say
yeah.
the fan base for the Razorbacks, especially the real fans. That I feel like Arkansas probably has more of a general group that go game after game, especially basketball. Besides, I feel like there's a pretty good core of fans that are at most stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like an NBA game where your crowd night to night is hugely varied. It's pretty much all right, if you have it's 20,000, 18, let's say 18,000,
Yeah.
6,000 of those people are there pretty much every game.
Yeah.
It's maybe not quite, it varies
I
a
bet
little bit,
I bet that's around this year completely sold out.
Yeah, that's true.
Before
So
the season
theoretically,
started, it's the same.
Yeah, and it's obviously not there's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of different people, but and the baseball crowd. I mean, Arkansas baseball fans are next level for real. They really care about it. It is their thing, and that's a stat I saw the other day, and I need to link this tweet in there. The Arkansas Razorbacks had a higher
I saw
average
this.
attendance
Yeah.
than the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
Whoa.
By a couple
We had
thousand.
by about 1,000.
Yeah.
Whoa.
To think about that, our college baseball team
Just
had
means
a
more.
higher. It just means more. And Arkansas that's not a lot of college baseball teams. Arkansas baseball is just
Yeah.
unreal the support
Yeah.
they have. But I think, and we were kind of talking before the show of what we might want to bring to Little Rock or something, a professional sport or something. But it is pretty cool to have that kind of support for our college athletics team.
Yeah.
Does that? Okay, let's just throw a little question out there. You bring in a professional sport to Little Rock, or it would have to be Little Rock. You bring in a professional sport to Russellville.
The crown jewel. Arkansas River crown
Does
jewel.
it take away from Razorback athletics, or does it add to just the love of sports in the state?
I would think Razorback athletics is so ingrained into the culture where I don't think there's anything that really you could add that would take away. And it's almost at fault to some of the attempted sports they've tried to bring, and, mostly to Little Rock, which is a weird, as big as or as small as Travelers baseball. And, we had the Twisters, which are coming back.
Oh, they coming back?
No,
Twisters
they're
are coming
They
back.
confirmed coming back?
Yeah, next year.
Oh,
excited.
AFL? They're in the AF? Is it different
We'll have to figure out the league.
Is it the...
It's arena. They're playing in Simmons.
Okay.
So it's arena.
Twisters.
But you see those
We don't
teams.
even have Twisters here.
We have tornadoes.
Yeah, but not really.
No.
I've lived through some tornadoes.
Yeah,
down here.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I guess
not
that's
necessarily
true. We're not quite
Little
Tornado
Rock
Alley.
specific, but you get a lot of tornadoes.
Southern
and now we're on
Arkansas,
tornado
there's-
talks.
I feel like North. I've only lived mostly Northwest Arkansas. You did not get many tornadoes.
No, not
Northern
up there.
Central Arkansas, which is a weird thing to say, but tornadoes have gone through Valonia,
Yeah, that's true.
Cabot. I mean, there are some places that are in the tornado lane.
I've always thought it was odd to have a mascot of a destructive weather item.
Yeah.
A hurricane. You know how many people get displaced and
Yeah.
die and lose their homes to hurricanes? It's
Yeah.
hey, go Canes.
Well, that brings into the question: do you want a menacing mascot?
Yes.
Maybe you do need to go to the most terrifying
It's a good point.
There are
depths
a lot
of.
of terrifying mascots.
Yeah, there's a lot. Usually they're animals.
Yeah.
I would just call my team the Void.
Ooh.
The vo-
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
The Little Rock Void.
That kind of sounds like an insult.
That
to
actually
Little
does. Yeah, that does
Rock.
actually.
We take that back. We didn't.
Okay,
mean
yeah,
that.
Sorry,
We didn't
Little
take that.
Rock.
We didn't take that.
That was
back.
just a
That's some
spitball.
Little Rock guys. We didn't
Yeah.
mean that. We didn't mean
That was
that.
a
We're in
spitball.
Little Rock right now, so.
Whoa, dude. I hope y'all can see the Capitol in the background. Maybe not. That's Washington, D.C. We're in Washington. But, no, back to the point. You see
There
those.
was no point.
Yeah, there was a point. Give me a second. Give me a second. You see those professional teams come in, right? And it hurts their attendance more so because people are so connected to the Razorbacks, and in Central Arkansas at least, people are connected to high school sports. You see
Good point.
the games that take place, North Little Rock, Parkview, Hall when they're good, Central when they're good. The turnouts are amazing. I've been to some of my most raucous, crowded, just high energy games at that North Little Rock Arena. So the professional aspect is interesting because I feel like you're going to have a hard time taking Razorback fans away from anything after collegiate sports, where so people show up. And because it's the only thing happening a lot of the time on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But people show up to these games. People go around to see Nick Smith play basketball.
Yeah, very true. Well, also professional sports are a very high price thing to get into. Whether you to be a season ticket holder is very expensive, and you need a lot. Arkansas only has so many high dollar, fans, and you're right. It would be hard to take them away from the Razorbacks. Like the Razorbacks do have. And this was something very interesting. When I was working on the stadium, the remodel there back in 2019, they were talking about all of the thing that Arkansas has no trouble filling ever is the suites and the loge boxes and the clubs. Those things are so popular because of it's a very business oriented thing, because we don't have at professional sports, most of the boxes, the suites and stuff are businesses or some kind of commercial, entity. And it's personal use, by the owners and stuff or whatever. But it's a lot of, hey, bringing clients, bringing,
a
potential
place for
clients.
handshakes.
Yeah, it is a place for handshakes. And the Razorbacks play that role. The Razorbacks literally are the Razorbacks on a Saturday game day are the hub of they are the cultural, commercial bit. They are the hub of the state that day. So pretty cool to have that kind of space and that kind of energy around your program. No real need. I don't really think there is. I mentioned the void. I don't think there is a void of sports. It's not man, Little Rock really needs a team, because they've just never really shown that they're really gonna be
the
able to
interest is a little half-hearted.
Yeah.
Because we do have Arkansas as our professional sports.
But maybe you go with a just straight up Arkansas pipeline only. The only chance of having a true it's hey man, we put a basketball team here in Little Rock and it's only former Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Now
Imagine we were mentioning the TBT.
Yes.
The people love that Arkansas team
Love
that
it.
shows up to the TBT. I would love to see that in Fayetteville one year. Because
Very cool.
I forget where it was. I think it might have been Creighton. They had a team, or Wichita State. I remember Wichita State had a team, a Shocker team, and got to play in Wichita, Kansas, which is
that would be pretty hype. Yeah.
no different than. And to see that turnout there, that I think you would get a lot of draw the rest of the whole tournament if for something like that.
Yeah.
But it would be hard to bring in a team that can just stay situated in one spot, be there, play their season and get that draw throughout the year, because then it becomes, at least for me, I go to Travelers games from time to time, but I go to them from time to time for good deal.
Because it's a nice afternoon and it's
I
sunny.
like a hot dog in the sun. I like to drink a beer in the sun.
Yeah,
I'm just a guy who knows ball.
yeah. I like to be around. I'd like to be ball adjacent.
Yeah.
Around ball at all times.
Yeah.
Any chance I get.
But we just gotta accept the Razorbacks are our pros. Now in the NIL era, they are even closer to pros than they ever have been
so
before.
now.
That's a good point.
And we gotta pay them we should. Arkansas is seriously positioned to really, I feel like because of our just absolute putrid football years for
Mm-hmm.
just a couple years, and we're so recent creatures. We are so trapped in recency bias and that kind of stuff. So you're wow, Arkansas goes 2-10 2 years in a row. That's just a terrible program. No support. Just a bad program. It's never gonna recover. It's just a lackluster. when that's really not the case at all.
No.
Like, we have all the resources. Now, the one thing we probably lack is a true natural geographic recruiting base.
Yeah.
Which
For
in
football.
In
For
football.
Yeah.
Baseball and basketball covered.
Baseball and basketball, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Especially
hoopers
basketball.
We have hoopers in this state.
Yeah,
We've
especially
always
baseball.
been
I mean, I would
hoopers.
say baseball might be one of our
Well, and
highest
I mean,
produced.
we have a national brand in baseball
That is
because
true.
of the success
Yeah,
that
it is
we've had
easier
for a
to
while. So,
recruit.
I mean, Texas and Oklahoma are just, baseball hotbeds.
Yeah.
Arkansas produces a lot of talent. Missouri, Kansas, like the center, but we just do not produce like Arkansas as a state. And hey, I'm trying to change this. I'm going in the coaching profession. Like,
Yeah.
we got to get our football up.
two future coaches, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We know ball.
Maybe a little
Definitely.
bit.
We're gonna try to teach ball to the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our football is just, it's rough, man. We do not produce very many true high-level SEC players.
And even
Yeah.
the guys that are supposed to be like, there's been countless 5-stars from smaller cities in Arkansas.
That's what it is.
That I think, and we all think, are going to be like ballers. They don't always end up being terrible, but they're not. They never really live up to that 5-star hype. Like, if we're getting 5 stars, or 4, even like high-level 4 stars. They're probably from like Texas or
Yeah.
Oklahoma, or Alex Collins from Florida was a pretty high level recruit. Just guys like that. Like, really the only one that I can think of that lived up to it was DMAC, and that was
Well,
D-Mac.
Treylon recently.
oh yeah, Treylon.
Definitely Treylon.
Yeah.
I mean,
for
definitely. I
sure.
mean, I don't know how highly recruited those Warren guys were.
Yeah, they were pretty highly. I mean,
I think
highly
they were.
recruited.
Yeah, Jarius Wright.
But yeah, I mean, you think of like a quarterback like Ty Story was like super high-rated quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm more
And
so
it-
talking about is the quarterbacks too.
It's just small town.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that small.
I mean, you
and
play
it-
1A Arkansas high school
Yeah,
football.
we hope you're dominating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you better be.
And you get a lot of those guys in Central Arkansas, which would be where the hotbed would be. It's where the basketball hotbed is. Play basketball.
Yep.
You get those guys who play basketball or don't play sports at all. There's other things on their mind because the football programs down here are
It's-
historic. That's not the problem. It's not like the culture for it isn't there. The games are still fun, but it's just the athletes that would be playing have gone to a different sport or just simply don't want to play.
Yeah, there's not a lot of just football commitment, especially Central Arkansas, for the population, for the athletic talent that they do produce, especially, basketball talent is,
Yeah.
I would put Central Arkansas on par with anybody the last 20 years. I mean, they've produced a lot of high-level talent.
Yeah.
How many guys, if you let's include Fort Smith. I mean, let's just group that in there. Just because they happen to have 2 guys like in the NBA right
Yeah.
now. But if you include that, I mean, how many NBA guys right now are from kind of the Arkansas area? Per capita, it's got to be, just about on par literally with anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, if you, I think that's the great way to put it. Per capita,
Yeah.
it has to be on par
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
kind of anybody.
Because, even
Not many people
not
around.
even thinking above the guys that even went to Arkansas. I mean, we were talking
Malik.
today about, Malik.
League. Archie, good one.
Yeah. Archie. Trying to think who else.
But then, you got,
Austin Reeves.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, Austin Reeves,
Nice.
right on down the way.
He's killing it.
He was a 1A guy who
Yeah.
had the sauce.
Was he cooking?
Yeah, he
you're
was
a-
averaging like 40 in high school.
Yeah.
that's
he was
pretty
breaking
sick.
records.
Which is a funny thing because we've kind of moved, like, a lot of true top tier talent goes other places in high, like, you know what I mean? Like, not a lot of true, like, high level college talent ends up at is still playing like their, like, junior, senior years.
Yeah.
At a 1A high school. But man, you put a future NBA guy on a 1A school and they will absolutely
Dude,
cook.
John, if you guys have seen John Wall's mixtape, it is absolutely insane because he played at like a 1A school.
John Wall's high school mixtape
Yeah.
is probably
It's
like the
nuts,
greatest
and
thing
he
ever.
was
It's
playing-
up there. Kyrie's is up there.
Yeah.
If we're getting into high school mixtapes, I don't even want to bring the guy up, but he's a Mav. He's a Mav, so I like him. But Kyrie's mixtape's up there. Kill Carr's
Kill Carr, I
mixtape,
was just about to say Kill Carr. That dude was nuts.
pretty up there. Trey Jefferson. I don't want to get into mixtapes, but
Yeah, no.
Malik Monk's mixtape-
Zion's was
Zion's is. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
Zion's was
no one
just
can do
unreal.
what Zion
Yeah, no one
can
can do.
can do.
What's he's still hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, back to being hurt again.
Zion over under he plays 200 more NBA games.
I think he will.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
like,
go
what,
with the
like
over.
3 or 4 seasons.
So 82 games a full.
seasons.
Okay, let's see. Okay, we immediately went all over. Okay, what would be 5 full seasons would be about 400.
Will
games.
he ever play a full season?
As in, like what?
Will
like
he be-
68 out of 82. Like he plays. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
over-
will he play? He gets time for management type of situations that they do now in the NBA, but healthy for pretty much, or in playing shape the whole entire season.
I'll
think
say
he has
yes.
work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
work.
say yes, but I don't. I would put my over under less than 1.5. Like I could see him playing one full season.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you had a full. He put together a full season, but I don't see it happening. He hasn't proved he's been. What? This is year 4, 5, 4.
When was he in college? 20.
Because this is Jaws. Maybe it's just year 3. It's just year 3.
Yeah.
Just year 3. But still, I mean, he's been in the year almost 3 full years and has yet to. I mean.
I think he still has some things to figure out with I think he just weighs too much for the stuff that he does. And I think if he just I mean, he's in the NBA, they have to be,
Facts.
they have to be working on a plan, how to keep this guy healthy.
Yeah.
What specific workouts and training regimens do we need to put him on so that he can be more reliable.
Yeah.
And so I feel like with all the money that they, the Pelicans are putting, they put everything into him. He was their number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So they
2019, by the way.
When he's in the game, he's one of the more dominant people I've seen.
He is.
in
How do you
NBA.
stop him?
It's impossible. It doesn't matter. You can double team him. He's gonna put his chest through your chest and score and layup. And he's got handles. He really is great. So it would be a shame to basketball if he never figured it out.
Yeah.
Because he really is Shaq level dominance, not being 7-1 though.
A physical dominance, though.
Just on that same level of Shaq level physical.
But that's kind of where you see he's on that fine line of wow, true generational athlete size freak of nature. It is hard. There's a reason not many people move and jump and are like that because it is our human knees and our ankles are not really meant to have that kind of torque. I mean, he produces so much force. He is pushing against the ground so hard.
We're going to have to find an episode of Sports Science. There has to be one made.
About
he
Zion?
is, just a freak of nature.
Man, what a blessing that draft worked out the way it did with the Grizzlies somehow getting the 2nd pick. Pretty fortunate to get the 2nd pick.
Yeah.
And
Not
Jaws,
taking
at this
Zion.
point, I mean, Jaws had far and away the better career. In the short career they've had. Simply because
He's played
Zion
more.
hasn't been on the court.
Yeah.
But still, just a crazy for the city of Memphis to snag an absolute superstar. Just a true game changer.
Changed the trajectory of that organization as a whole.
Truly.
They were in the dark ages.
We had come out of one era.
Yeah.
And we were
Which
on
was a contending kind of level.
A good team. The city loved them. You kind of knew they probably weren't. There was about 1 year where they really had a team that was almost capable, truly at the highest level.
Zebo and Mike Conway.
Yeah, it was
That
Zebo,
year, yeah.
Conley,
Arkansas.
Gasol.
Yeah.
Who was the
and then Tony
defender?
Allen. Tony Allen, the grind father.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely love TA around these parts. But they kind of came out of that era slowly, one by one. Those guys dropped off.
Yeah.
And they hung on to Conley for a while. I mean, he's still hooping.
Still, he's having a great season.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a good player. But it was definitely time to train. Mike Conley was not leading the next era. It was kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a great piece on a team with a lot of other pieces.
He's a piece.
He is not. Yeah, he's not your.
He is a piece. He's
So
not
when they
the
got
piece.
Ja, it was kind of writing on the wall that okay, well, we're just swapping the era.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, they had gotten Jaren Jackson the year before, and he's blossomed into a really. I mean, he's an all-star
D-boy.
this year.
Yeah.
D-boy.
So, really cool to vault them into kind of true contention again. I mean, They've fallen off a little bit this year, the last month or so. But I mean, at one point, second in the West. I think they're probably still top 5 in the West.
They're still up there. The West is going to be crazy.
The West is absolutely insane.
The West is going to be crazy this year. I hate that being a Mavericks fan. I hate to make a great move, to make a very advantageous move for us. Getting rid of character just a little bit. We're not talking about character. We're talking about ball. I don't know character. I know ball.
That's a good point. Yeah, we never claimed to know
Yeah,
anything about Never met Kyrie.
Never met him. Probably, I know he came to Little Rock. He loves Central High School. I like people that like Little Rock, but he said some things. But you get him in the Mavericks organization.
He said some things.
He said some things. You get him in the Mavericks organization. Questions are asked. Can him and Luka play together? I think yes, but we can get into that some other point. But then to have the West just start collecting players all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant coming to the Suns. Lakers actually improving.
Significantly, dude.
Significantly.
Making all the right
Dude,
moves.
their team,
Hey,
D'Angelo Russell alone.
I hated Pelinka before that move. That made me like him a lot more.
I'm not even saying
that was the move that the Lakers
great move.
fans have been waiting on.
He's not him in himself he's a really good player, but he complements that team a million times better. Russell Westbrook was an anchor. Dude, that guy was an absolute anchor on that team.
Yeah.
He was the epitome of everything they didn't everything they did not need.
Yeah.
It was him. And I love Russell Westbrook's career.
Yeah.
Oh,
great
it's
player.
so fun to
Hall of
watch.
Fame player.
Hall of Fame player easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Record breaker. But when a team needs 3-point shooting and your point guard or guard, main ball handler can't shoot the 3-point ball to save his life these days.
Even free throws.
How does that happen? I mean, Westbrook was never his main thing. He was never truly just this great shooter. But at one point, he was a effective.
He didn't want to leave him
He
open.
wasn't always broke, dude. I don't know. I don't know
what happens.
I don't know.
It's fairly mental, right? I mean, it's.
Yeah, we saw that with Fultz. Markel Fultz.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's almost a whole pod in itself. Just the saga of the mental game. Forgot how to shoot.
I got the yips.
Yeah.
In baseball, and I could not throw. I had played baseball 12 years, played hundreds, thousands of baseball games, practiced every day for years. All of a sudden, I made one bad throw in a game. I held on the ball way too long in a rundown, threw it right into the ground. I had the yips.
And never recovered.
No, I never recovered. I mean, I still played for a while, and then I would hit. I would DH.
Yeah.
And I was still a pretty good hitter, but yeah, I never fully recovered from it, and it was just in my head. I couldn't make a throw. You try to work on it's not in the mechanics, because then everyone wants to go oh, well, let's work on your mechanics, and it's not in your mechanics. It's not in any of that. It is in your head.
Yeah.
Something you have done a million times. Throw a baseball, shoot a basketball. And then once it's broke, it's broke. It's so hard to get back.
And then you're just pressing to fix
pressing,
and that's not the problem.
And then every time, I can only speak from true experience, but every single time the ball comes my way, I'm freaking out that I might just airmail this throw or throw it in. And then that, when you're not playing instinctually, when you've got in your head, when it's in your head. I mean, that's a Ben Simmons thing too. It's obviously fully in his head.
That's another yips case. One of the worst yips case.
Well, he never shot.
Well, no, he never.
Yeah,
did,
his problem is actually putting the ball towards the goal.
It's
he's
not even his shooting now. It's he doesn't really do the things well that he used to do really well. The things that made him an all-star.
I think maybe we need to give him he's trying to play basketball different than anyone else has ever tried to play basketball.
He is.
Yeah,
He's reinventing how to play basketball.
And that was the sad thing about it is it was he was still a huge part of that Sixers team, and then people just couldn't understand. It's Shaq couldn't shoot free throws. Just because Ben Simmons is a point guard doesn't mean that he can't have the same problem as somebody like that. It's he's doing all of these things well, but we're just going to freak out because he plays the guard position. So I don't know. I hope he gets it back. Watching Ben Simmons be good at basketball at 6'9", playing point. Yeah, it's fun, dude. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA too. So
not many people I don't like, or not many athletes I don't want to see succeed.
Yeah.
There's hard to name.
That's the one thing about knowing ball is, man, we want to see we want to see people
Best
healthy.
products.
We want to see people doing.
It's all about entertainment, dude.
I want to see their absolute best, and Ben Simmons as the absolute best was awesome.
It was very fun.
And it's just not quite there. Yeah, the Markelle Fultz one was real,
that's
but he kind of got it back.
It's back. It's back.
He's good. He's good. I mean, he's on the Magic. The Magic suck, but
Magic are fun.
they
That's what you say when a team sucks, but they're entertaining. They're fun. Oklahoma City, they were fun.
Oklahoma City's
now they're pretty good.
Almost,
They're
like
gonna make the playoffs.
They're on the verge. Yeah. They're on the verge of something really special too.
I mean, they still have first-round draft picks for like years and
Galore.
years to come. So yeah, they're probably about to be.
And no pick from last year, or Chet's been out. So.
Oh, I didn't even
Dude, I
think
forgot
about the
about
fact they have Chet
that. Yeah.
Holmgren.
Yeah.
Wow, you really
Totally
do got to
forgot.
get into. Now might be a time to kind of. Well, no, I mean I'm a Grizzlies guy, so I can't really like the Thunder. But if I was just up and coming, about to choose, like, hey, I'm really gonna dig in with a new franchise. Like,
I don't
They
know.
have two Hogs that are big parts.
I know
of
that's
the
what
team.
Huge
like
parts of the game.
And Jalen Williams being this effective as a rookie.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Is pretty awesome. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
he was
No.
kind of borderline even decide like whether to go pro or not.
Yeah.
And,
Had things to work on. Worked on them all.
really worked on it great.
And like
He's
the
hitting threes
Yeah.
from the NBA three-point line now. Like he's being like the night that LeBron broke the record, they were playing the Thunder, and who was doing that game, Reggie Miller and somebody else. They were talking about Jalen Williams being an effective three-point shooter. And I
Yeah.
was like, even last season, like Jalen Williams, he would shoot the open three-point jump shot, but we weren't crazy about Jalen Williams making threes. You know.
It was kind of like accepted. Like, hey,
Yeah,
if
it
you're
was like- it
open,
was like,
he
okay.
deserved he earned.
Yeah, he had
to
the
take
green
made
light.
enough. He
He
made
had
enough.
He had the green light, and like it wasn't like every time he shot, I was like, oh my god, like that's a miss. But he wasn't, a
Wasn't
crazy
a-
three-point shooter, and so to move him back, like what's the NBA three-point line? Like
maybe he
25
needed to move
feet?
back. Some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what exactly we were just talking about. It's a confidence thing. Jalen
Yeah.
Williams has always been a confident player.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's always been a passionate player.
and he has a nice looking stroke. Like it's pretty smooth. Pause. Pause. Sorry, guys.
No, but you take that confidence. He does have a good looking stroke. You take that confidence to the NBA. You put him around former Razorback, someone from his hometown.
Leads the NBA in
Easy.
three-point
Leads the
percentage.
a great shooter.
Yeah.
Great.
You put him in an organization that values young players and developing young players. That's their whole MO. And you get a good product with someone who is so adamant about being the best player he could be. He was a Plato kind of guy when he was on the Razorbacks. He did
Yeah.
what was required for us to win the
Yeah.
game.
Which is what you need, man. And you
Point
can have a
center.
long career in
Yes.
the NBA being a good one of those. Like,
Yeah.
you can. Jalen Williams is probably not ever going to be a true, like, all-star.
Superstar.
Like,
yeah,
I don't,
he
like,
might not make an all-star ever.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I could easily see J. Will having 12, 13, 14-year NBA career. Obviously, I mean, he's
Breaking the charge record.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's at, but breaking it.
He's getting serious minutes on a playoff contending team in year one. Like, that can only mean, good things for him in his career ahead. And he obviously, he's willing to do the things that teams need. Like,
He'll be a Bobby Portis type.
yeah.
Bobby
Yeah.
is a
Blueprint.
integral part of that Bucks team. He was a big part of that Bucks championship.
Averaging a double-double.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they
Huge.
need him. And
Kind of stinks that he didn't leave to get paid a little more, but he
Oh,
likes
my.
Milwaukee.
He took one of the
Yeah.
worst contracts I have ever.
Organization-friendly contract there.
Yeah.
But
Friendly.
he wants
They
to
love
win.
him.
Hey,
They love
he wants
him
to
up there.
win, dude.
Yeah, he obviously
you know?
he wanted to be there, and they do love him there. Like the fan, like his support.
Yeah.
he has more support as a bench. It's hard to. I mean, you
You
call him
love
a bench.
Bobby.
He is a bench player. He's up for like 6 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
he's potential 6 man of the year. But I mean, he's still obviously he plays a ton. But
Yeah.
you don't see many reserve guys have such a devoted fan base support as Bobby does. But we saw that when he was here. I mean, he is one of the most universally beloved Razorbacks that has come through in so long.
He's one. If there was a Mount Rushmore for Little Rock, Arkansas, Bobby Portis would be on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Fairly easily.
Who's on it? So yeah, Mount Rushmore,
He's on all Mount Rushmore.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
It's Bobby Portis, a collage of the Little Rock
Joe
Nine.
Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson's up
sure.
there.
Yeah. Throw in another athlete.
Okay,
Bill
you're talking.
Clinton.
We're not talking about athletes. We're talking
Yeah.
about just Little Rock in
Bill.
general.
Yeah, Bill's definitely not native Little Rock guy, but
Springs.
Pretty
governor.
close.
Yeah, governor. He lived in Little Rock long enough.
Oh, dude, I got one.
Okay.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Ooh, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, dude.
We don't need to get into that.
I actually don't want to get into it.
we
I gotta
need-
say.
I got one thing to say.
Okay.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, confirmed, does not know ball.
Yeah. Okay, that's all we need to say about it.
I'll leave it at that.
Without question. Doesn't
Doesn't know. We
know.
want to start talking about the Razorbacks?
Yeah, let's transition
Let's get into
to
it.
talking
Let's get
about the
into-
Razorbacks. Let me take a look at the camera.
All right.
Let me take a piss.
Yeah, me too. Bathroom break.
I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy.
I'll be your rope, I'll be your love, be everything that you need.
I love you more with every breath, truly, madly, deeply do. I will be strong, I will be faithful, cause I'm counting on a new beginning, a reason for living, a deeper meaning in it. I wanna stand with you on a mountain, I wanna bathe with you in the sea, I wanna lay like this forever until.
All right, we're back. Thank you for bearing with us there for a little bit. We had to, a little tinkle. Guys tinkle too. Take a little break. We wanted to reset to really get on what's going to be our bread and butter.
This is why we came
This is-
here.
this
This
is-
is what you want to
This is
see.
what we know ball.
This is the ball we know. This is the ball we love, the ball we grew up with. We've been talking about the past a little bit, but the Arkansas Razorbacks, man,
This is hog ball,
this is hog ball. Let's get into it.
and it's stretch time.
we want
Much needed, absolutely route of the 40
Yeah.
Gators today.
yeah,
Pretty much up
much needed.
Yeah.
fair.
Had to have it.
How much do we? How much
I
do we
think
need
I
this
think we
one?
might need to go back and talk about why it's needed so bad.
Yeah, we had a pretty rough 2-game stretch. They
I-
weren't terrible losses.
They're not going to end up being terrible losses.
Time would,
to
based
Texas
on
A&M and Mississippi State.
Yeah, based on where we were, played probably I think our best game of the season at Kentucky in Rupp Arena. We were on fire. Great defense. Come back, lose 2 straight.
Well, you also added in Nick Smith, trying to get him
Yeah.
back integrated, and then you lose
Yeah.
2 straight. It kind of just feels bad. He doesn't play a single minute in the second half of the A&M game, and the vibes are. The Razorback fan base, while we kind of gave him props for knowing ball a good bit, the more probably so the non going to games fan base, like the internet fan base,
Yeah.
is very quick to jump off the ledge.
Losing their minds.
My best takeaway from the Mississippi State and Texas A&M losses was very unfortunate, very bad. Team did not play well, but this is not the NCAA tournament.
It's not.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get in, and we are kind of on the brink. I mean, we're very comfortably probably on the right side of the bubble for now.
Yeah.
But especially if they had lost today, they would have been on the outside looking in
Yeah, we'd
with a
be
chance
left
to
for it.
still get in. One game at this point doesn't really
Losing to Florida in particular would
Without
at
Cotton,
home.
yeah,
Losing to
half
Florida
of
at
it.
home would have been a
Is probably
very
gonna
bad mark.
go on
Just
to
as
lose.
losing to Georgia, we play another one of those games that it doesn't really help you to win a ton, but you cannot
Yeah.
lose it.
Yeah.
You
Must
cannot
win.
lose
Yeah.
that type of game this late in the year, especially when you kind of just need to. The Razorbacks don't need to do anything crazy special on the way out. Like, they don't need to run the table, although it would be awesome and it would provide, and they could.
The team I watched today could do
Yeah.
a lot of damage anywhere
Yeah.
against anyone.
Yeah, the really encouraging thing I took from today was how we pounced on the second half. The start of second halves have been just atrocious. I don't know what – we've been leading at half. We have had a lot of leads at half, which is not indicative really of a Musselman team. I feel like the years past, we have been consistently down 6, 8, 10 points at half, and we're really ready for that second half comeback. This year, we have almost flipped the scripts on ourselves by being ahead quite a bit going into half. And then it's like teams will just instantaneously, cut that lead right at the start of the second half.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, shoot. Like, they've kind of got the momentum. They've already come back. Now they have plenty of time to just kind of play us from there on out, but was awesome. We were up 6 at half, and we went on a 17-5 run, I do believe, to open the second half.
Yeah.
And then you go from up 6 to up 12 in less than 5 minutes, or from up 6 to up 18 in less than 5 minutes. And it's like, whew, at that point,
Hard to come back
without their best player, it was very unlikely that Florida was going to come back. But you needed to do that. You needed to see this team just put someone away.
Crush someone
that you're better than.
Yes, that you're better than. That's the most disappointing, I would say, from the last 2 games, is feeling like the team I saw wasn't the best Razorback team, obviously. And Mississippi State did things. They have a great defense. They did things to get us out of, their defense plays to our weaknesses perfectly.
Yeah, very true.
I think that's what a lot of teams that we've lost to have been doing, is they try to get us in spots where they're like, yeah, shoot your open jump shot, or they speed us up a little bit. They try to play to our weaknesses, and because we have freshmen, we kind of do that, And I think on offense especially, we will try our hardest to do the things that they want us to do when that's not what we should be doing. We should be playing to our strengths the whole time. And I think that's why we go on so many bad droughts, is because we keep spamming what we shouldn't be doing over and over and over again, trying to get it to work, when really we need to step back and be like, okay, let's get back to our bread and butter. And
well,
we don't necessarily
have
a
bread.
bread.
We haven't really had a bread.
Getting to the basket.
It's getting to the basket, and
attacking
trying to
the
get to
rim.
the foul line, and dribble, penetrate, dish, around the basket.
Dunk.
Hopefully
A lot of dunks.
Dunking is our bread. I would say dunking is our bread and butter.
Dunking is our claim to fame.
Yeah, we settle. Also, a lot of teams, they come out in the second half, and this is why I think we've struggled the most, is they come out in a zone.
Yeah.
And we can't attack the paint like we need to in a zone. So we start settling. We dribble down the shot clock, trying to make something happen. Doesn't work out. So, it's a fadeaway, Ricky Council, Devo, kind of crazy shot. Anthony Black trying to do a little bit too much, throwing the ball away, turning it over. Yeah. So I don't really know how to combat that, though.
You hope Nick Smith's the answer.
Yeah.
You hope that having another solid ball handler, someone you can trust, will alleviate kind of needing Devo, needing Ricky to start the offense where they're playmakers. We want them free to do what they do best. That is make plays.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about, as like today we really took advantage of a mismatch. Jalen Graham scores 26 points.
Yeah.
And Muss is on the post game talking about how we knew he would have a mismatch in this game. And I think injecting Nick Smith into this team creates way more. It's somehow adding one player creates mismatches almost everywhere.
Yep.
Because you look, and offensively, Devo had a great stretch of
fantastic.
He had a great stretch for and we needed it when we truly were desperate. We were we needed someone to, and credit to Devo, because he dug deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he found, but he brought it for. But at no point would you really say Devo is an offensive mismatch.
He's not.
Like, he is. And Ricky Council does some great things.
Yeah.
Ricky Council can do some amazing things. And there are times he probably has. But when he's your when he's kind of your number one shot maker or shot creator, he's not really a mismatch. Now, when he's your number 3 playmaker, then he's a mismatch. That's what I'm saying. Adding Nick Smith, your top guy, your top shot maker, top creator, he's a facilitator. I think that's an underrated kind of part of his game, is he knows how to orchestrate an offense. He's not really a point guard, but he knows the flow. Like
very willing passer.
He is a very basketball savvy player. He really understands kind of the movement that is needed on the team, the spacing.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite started to knock down shots.
It'll come.
It should come. He looks good. He gets himself open.
We know he
looks
can
good.
shoot.
We know he can shoot. So adding him in creates mismatches for AB. It creates mismatches for Ricky. It can open up Devo. Yeah, if Devo as your number 1 option is not going to win you a national championship.
Yeah.
No.
That's your number 2 option.
That's not.
But Devo as your number 4 option is a weapon.
Yeah.
He is a weapon. And so, all of them, guard plays in the tournament. Like
It's all about guards. Tournament is a guards paradise.
And I want you to take just a second to just sit with the fact that Arkansas could potentially have Anthony Black, Nick Smith, Ricky Council, and Devo as a 4-guard lineup with one big, maybe in a Jalen Graham.
Yeah.
That is a death lineup right there.
It is.
Like, that is we are driving with everything. We are cutting, driving. All those guys can dunk. Like, we're athletically superior to you. We're great, passing.
Well, you look what Muss did in the offseason to get combos like that on the court. Because you can mix that up and mix match any big man that you want. And obviously, we lost Brazil. You'd love to have him in there. But you can mix up those big men and that guard combo. The depth we have is different than a lot of Muss's teams in the past because we are, as a Razorback fan base, arguing for players on the bench to get more minutes. That's a good problem to have.
That is a great problem to have.
We got players that can play, dude.
Yeah.
We have at least 9 that could be a problem for any team.
Yeah. And I think it's an odd – there's two sides to – well, there's two sides to every argument, I guess. But I was hearing some talk of, why aren't these guys on the bench getting some more run? Like, why do we have the top 3 players in the SEC in minutes?
Yeah.
Minutes per game.
Which I feel like historically has been.
Historically, that's been every year.
That's what he does.
Muss, yeah.
And I'm on Muss's side here. I think you have 7, 8 players who are at this exact moment more likely to help you win.
Yeah.
They're capable of playing. I would love to see maybe not play 35, 36 minutes, but play 32 minutes. I mean, they're capable of doing that.
Yeah, and that's also Nick Smith being out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't happen. I mean,
That's
they're
what I'm
still
saying.
going
Take 5 minutes from all those guys, and they're playing much more reasonable minutes. And they're probably a little fresher. And that was, I'll say, at the end of the Texas A&M game, was probably one time I could truly say, they did look pretty. They looked flat and fatigued.
They were gassed. Yeah, they definitely were gassed. That's probably why Devo missed 3 free throws in a row. They were all short.
Yeah,
short of the rim.
I'd be interested to see, just to go back a little bit and talk about those last 2 games, those big L's. Are there any good takeaways? Because I have one in mind. But and I'll tell you first, let you think on it for a second. But fouling has no longer become an issue for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Right. That's good. Even on the road, yeah.
Even on the road.
I agree.
We took a young team that is all year long struggle with fouls. And, some might be atrocious. Let's put some atrocious ones maybe in the fray.
Yeah.
Some might be a little bad.
Yeah, could we clip the Missouri?
Yeah.
The Missouri just masterclass of horrible
Go watch the
officiating.
last 4 minutes.
The Makai Mitchell foul was
The Makai foul, the charge, whatever. But you take that, a team that's so foul prone throughout the whole entire season, you don't remove or add anybody. This is before Nick Smith is back. Because it's happened. I mean, the Kentucky game, we weren't really fouling so much. It's one reason the game looked so great. Weren't really fouling as much and kind of were getting them into foul trouble. What do you think the lack of fouls is attributed to? Because I have an answer, but
good question.
Yeah.
I think we haven't had as many off the ball foul, or not off the ball, but away from the basket fouls. I felt like we were just getting hammered, especially early in the second half. We would just be fouling people out, not in the paint. And it's just you're racking up, you're getting them in the bonus.
A ton of fouls at half court.
With just ticky-tack, hand-reaching fouls.
Yeah, you're talking about we were getting on ball.
Yeah.
Just that comes with young players. Just trying to make something happen that you shouldn't really be trying to make happen.
And you emphasize defense,
but
yeah. But you can't be found. I mean, that's a skill.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a skill to learn. I think we've been challenging better at the rim even. We've blocked more shots.
That's what it is.
Straight up.
Yeah.
No, the Mitchell twins are straight up now, dude.
I think that's the change we've seen is that we give up. And that's one of the problems, the gripes I have with having an athletic team is that we give up a lot of clear drives to the basket.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fix is. We even look at our so-called best defender, Devo, will give up a lot of clear drives to
He
the
got
basket.
benched today because of it.
Yeah.
He gave up a clear drive to the basket, and Muss was not happy.
But then you throw in where earlier in the season we weren't playing Mikal that much.
Yeah.
Now he comes into the fray. We have 10 fouls to give between kind of the same guy.
Mikal seems a little more adept to me at blocking shots.
If he would have played all season, he might have
He's
broken a
he's
single-season record.
He's a better defender. Makai is more offensively in tune, but yeah,
Makai has a little better footwork on the offensive end,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. He's a little more touch
For
and
sure.
skill around
Yeah.
the basket. But Mikal, I mean, he has been a defensive anchor,
Yeah.
just a stud back there. And it's been a huge – him getting more minutes really coordinated kind of when we went on our first run.
Yeah.
And I'd honestly say, I mean, now if – say we win tomorrow and then you're like, well, we've won 7 out of 9.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we lost 2 in a row, and it's kind of like, oh, we'll lose. But it's, at the end of the day, we had won 5 in a row right before that.
Yeah.
You take that.
And
Oh, you take that big time.
and I think a lot, but I think Mikal started getting a lot more minutes. He started some of these games, and now you look at, now Jalen Graham is coming on and really,
Yeah.
I think you got to live with some of his deficiencies. Like, you got to live with getting beat every now and then on defense. Because, he can recover, too. He's so long. He can still affect shots. I think that's pretty much people's biggest knock on him, or, like, their explanation for why he doesn't get as many minutes is because of his defensive, maybe lack of, being just a defensive stopper. But,
Yeah.
man, he's so effective offensively.
Oh, that right-handed hook shot is one of the prettiest things I've watched a Razorback player
automatic.
do. It is automatic.
It is automatic.
No matter hand in the face, bigger man on him, automatic.
Yeah.
He's bouncy.
Yeah.
He can hell cram on anybody.
And that goes back to Mikal Mitchell, being able to throw him in a lineup with Jalen Graham where you cover your bases of, okay, you lost some offensive game by putting Makai on the bench. You pick it up tenfold by putting Jalen Graham out on the court, and you pick up the defensive game almost tenfold by having Mikal on the court. Now, it doesn't work every time, but today was a great example of seeing Jalen can guard. He can guard out on the perimeter a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
maybe
he's
that's the
athlete.
answer. Is like put him on. Like,
Yeah.
Don't put him on a big.
Yeah.
Not the. I don't know. A lot of.
Not the center,
potential,
but-
man, like this team, still, and it hinges on whether it's discouraging. I'm gonna choose to say it's very encouraging. Is that I don't think we have seen the best Razorback basketball game yet. We played great at great at Kentucky.
Great at Kentucky.
But-
Great today.
We played great at Kentucky, but we didn't have Nick Smith.
We didn't.
Yeah.
So if we play a great game with Nick Smith, we're better than that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh.
And I
And
think
Nick will get better, dude. Nick looked.
He's a
today-
freshman.
He looked really bad the first 2 games. Today he didn't look great. He looked really good though. He
Yeah.
looked really good.
First half, amazing.
I would love to see Nick in transition all the time.
Yeah.
Nick is so. Whenever he took the ball, there were those two and one.
He's
plays that he
NBA
got.
fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
"What
a
are you
good-
doing? What are you doing? You're taking 1-on-3." And I was like, "Oh wait, but you are actually an NBA player. You will make that play."
Yeah.
Like he's
Or you
so
are
long,
drawing that foul,
He takes
like,
the
at least.
contact and he knows how to finish because he's just a hooper. There's not a lot of
Guy
guys
knows
that have
ball.
like that kind of talent that can finish
Yeah.
the way he can. And we haven't seen like a whole.
And
big
I think,
sample size
today
of it,
was
but-
truly the most encouraging.
Yeah.
He got the start, played
Yeah.
31 minutes, only scored 10 points, but didn't,
Yeah.
it's not like he was hucking up a ton of shots. Like he missed,
yeah.
he missed
No.
a few. Probably, he missed mostly threes.
Yeah, and those will come. And dude, if he would have made a couple more of the shots that he took, he would have had a 20-piece.
4 for 12 from the field.
Yeah.
Not the greatest, but you need someone taking shots.
Got to have someone taking
Those
shots.
shots,
I'd
I
rather him
like
take
him.
12 shots than Devo take 12 shots.
Yeah,
Like, over
easily.
game after game.
Easily. And
it's
that's no
better
shade
option.
towards
And I
Devo.
No, not at all. Not at
Arkansas
all.
legend.
No, that dude Devo just has a
And he's gonna-
role on
Devo's-
his team that he needs to
Yes.
fulfill. He doesn't need to be taking 12 shots a game. He probably
Needs to
around
be
like
taking-
8 or 9 is
yeah.
what I would be comfortable with because Devo can score.
I would
It's not
say
like he can't
Devo
score.
take maybe 4 threes a game if
Yeah.
he keeps shooting like 4
Yeah.
threes and then a couple layup, a couple. But that's kind of what we were back to my point earlier. Is like Devo should actually become a much more efficient player now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he might not shoot as much, but he actually is taking. He should be. But that's kind
Yeah.
of the quandary with Devo. Is like,
Only one
Yeah.
shot today.
yeah. Is,
He only had 1 shot.
Only one shot. Kind of
Well,
stood in the corner a lot on
yeah,
offense,
yeah.
letting. I mean, when the ball is not in his hands, you hope to pop him out. And that's one thing. These guys haven't all been on the court together. We saw that as kind of a problem in that Texas A&M game where, you know, Anthony Black was familiar with Devo being in one spot. You input Nick Smith. He's trying to do something else.
Nick runs to.
Once people are looking for Devo in that corner, and I love the point you made that he shoots way better from the left side of the field, which he does, which is
quantifiably
yes.
much better.
Not going to take the time to get the stats together, but
we'll have them.
Just be watching. Oh, we'll find him. Okay, I like that.
Oh, someone's already. I
feel like I actually have maybe heard that stat.
Well, pick it out of your brain right now. Remember it.
I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet. Somebody maybe was.
Regardless, he is a better shooter.
Yeah.
Might have seen that from your Twitter. I don't know.
Shout out. Come on the pod. But, yeah, they're going to get more comfortable at finding him and including him in the flow because he was doing so much. He was been forced to score. No one was he was one of 3 people forced to score. Now we have 4. But now he can excel if he keeps, like you said, making threes at the clip he was.
3 and D. Like, we need him to be a clamps defender and then be a 3-point option where he can be open and set. You're not just catch and shoot. When he catches and shoots, I'd like to see those splits too.
Yeah.
When it's a dribble shot or, when he creates his shot versus when it's just a catch and pop. Because he's got to be a lot better when he catches. When he catches, sets, and shoots, he's effective as all get out.
And that's what you need from him. And it allows when those guys, you're getting a scramble, right? They're catching out. Devo's making shots, hopefully. You're closing out to Devo. It also, the best part of his game is still that pull-up mid-range shot.
Yeah.
It will always be the best part of Devo's game is being someone who's willing to take that shot. Because that's a tough shot to make. We've seen him make them
a lot.
Enough to be confident.
Times.
Yeah, enough to be confident in it. And now when you have him standing in the corner, or standing wherever on the court, but he was in the corner today, pump faking and getting a wide open shot with a scrambling defense. Now it allows you better chance for offensive rebounds, which is something we don't do too well, but Jalen Graham attacks the basket really hard. Mikal attacks the basket pretty hard.
I saw a few more tap outs today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where they didn't grab the offensive rebound, but they kind of got their hands on it, tapped it out. Now we probably didn't even get every one of them, but that's a good move.
The dominance on the rebounding game today, and it's really even hard to poor Florida. I mean,
they were completely. I didn't realize
outmatched.
that they were that bad without Castleton. I didn't realize he was that.
They were that bad with him.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're still not a good team. They're still not a good team.
They were not great with him. Of course, I mean they were 7. They had a better lead record than we did.
Yeah,
they have.
I think they started off pretty good in SEC play. I think they've taken a little bit of a skid.
And one thing you cannot take away from Devo has been an integral part of 2 Elite 8 runs already. Like it
huge.
Oh, so
the reason for the first one.
The shot against Oral Roberts, dude, or was it Tech?
Oral Roberts.
And
dude. A great late game play against Tech.
Hit the game winner.
So
he's clutch.
That's experience you can't just make up when you got a team full of freshmen. So the freshmen are the power. The freshmen are the engine of this team. Like they are our most talented players. They are our highest ceilings. They can do things on the basketball court that normal players can't.
Not many people that have come through Arkansas at any point could be doing.
That's true. That's really true. We got 2 of.
Never.
I've never had a point.
That's what you wanted from Kai Madden almost. A little shorter, but you wanted someone that dominant in the game. But he just controls the game. I've never seen a freshman.
And it almost seems like sometimes he's too good for our players because he's making some passes.
Yeah.
And they're just aren't even looking at it. And you see him getting like pissed. He's like, oh, and I'm like, dude, I feel you, but at the same time, like, you have to know who you're around, you know? You can't be making those crazy
It's almost like me and Bryce watched the game together today. Yeah. It's almost like, I guess we just know ball. So well.
Exactly what I was going to say. Guys that know ball usually end up in the same place.
It don't matter where we are. But we were talking about that exact thing where it's like he'll make passes where it's like that guy. I mean, there are 2 passes today I could really think about where he hit a guy in his hands, in his gut, you could not. place it in a better spot and just right off his hands, out of bounds. And it was like, are you gonna give a guy a turnover on that? Where it's like a beautiful pass that should have been that should have been an assist. Yeah. Instead, it's a turnover. But I mean, you can't fault the guy for making that.
No, it's not. It's not his fault. It's definitely like he's that's an instinctual play too. Like it's like he's just that good. He's used to like, okay, I'm gonna make this guy get wide open, and we're gonna get 2 points off this. And in the NBA, that's not gonna happen. Like he's gonna be making plays like that.
Too.
And
that period where they put in that backup point guard, and he ripped him twice
in a row.
In a row. I can't imagine being in that position.
Kentucky.
He did.
Against Kentucky
2 straight steals against
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
That literally like won us the game. It was early in the second half, but like we went up 9 after those 2 steals, I think, and we never looked back really.
Yeah.
And 2 steals and like, if you can get 2 steals and breakaway layups as one person a game, that's a game-breaking.
Oh, if you average 2 steals a game, you're the defensive player of the year, dude. Like steals are hard to come by. Like steals are not it's not an easy thing.
And this team, we think of ourselves as so defensive-minded. We do have a good defense. We're a good defensive team, but steals is one of the things that would make us elite. We don't create a lot of turnovers in that sense.
Yeah.
We're good at rebounding.
We outmatch teams physically for sure.
And we outmatch them physically. We wear them down. We make it as hard as humanly possible to score. Mm-hmm. You add a player that can come in and get steals. You add someone like Nick Smith, where I think his best defensive asset maybe isn't complete on-ball defense or complete off-ball defense. It is the fact he is so active on the court, outside of the three-point line.
That IQ translates to defense.
Yeah.
The way he knows the game of basketball certainly translates to defense.
Yeah. And then have a guy like Devo, and obviously Ricky Council has upset me some points in the season with his effort on defense, but a good defender nonetheless.
Yeah.
You look, guards win NCAA tournament games. Defense wins.
We have 4 guards that can clamp. We have 4 capable defensive guards.
Yeah.
Can have bad nights, but clamp really good guards to keep us in games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at it, and we've talked about it many times and made the joke. We don't care where we're seated. This team's not going to care where they're seated going into the NCAA tournament because we're dangerous.
Any team, whoever, when that Selection Sunday is going to be sweet this year, because when that pops up, the other team's going to sink.
They are.
The other team, we have almost, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but a lot of sports is psychological.
It is.
There will be a moment, the team will have a sink. They might we're probably going to get up. I don't know. It won't be but today we're projected as a 10 seed.
Yeah, 10 seed.
So can you just imagine being a 7 seed and
That's
you draw this Arkansas team? Your stomach's in the ground.
I was looking up because I think we'll probably end up around the 7 line. I think we'll win 2 of our last 3. The big games.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky. I think we'll go.
You hope Kentucky's a lock at home.
Yeah. And I think we'll split Alabama and Tennessee. But so let's say we get to the 7 seed. I was looking up earlier some of the two seeds, and it's like Baylor.
Gettable.
Should have beat them.
Baylor.
Without Nick Smith. It's Arizona, which Arizona's good.
Gettable.
Very gettable. UCLA.
Got 'em.
Easy.
Got 'em.
I forgot they were playing this year.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No offense.
Don't know the other teams, but and that's how college basketball is this year. There's so much parity. Alabama's the number 1 team in the country. We should have beat them at home. The last 3 minutes we kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't say should have, but if we would have won that game, it wouldn't have been crazy. They hit 3 straight threes.
Yeah.
On
Brandon Miller doing Brandon Miller things.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And they're the number 1 team in the country, dude.
But you also saw Bama lose by 30 to a mid-Oklahoma team.
A very mid Oklahoma team.
There's not a team in the country that outguns us.
Line me up on a neutral floor and let's play ball. I will happily face, and maybe that's because maybe I can say that because I have nothing really to lose. But I truly believe they're gonna play a little bit better. They're gonna get.
They're building a groove, and it's weird to see, but it's something. Usually, Muss's teams have kind of built the groove by now, a little more so, but there hasn't been injury problems.
It was impossible when your true Nick Smith is our best player.
Yeah.
Like, he is our best playmaker. Anthony Black is a fantastic, and he probably is our most, I mean, he's just been in all year, been our most effective player. But, when it comes tournament time, you got to have a playmaker. You got to have a ball-heavy playmaking guard.
Yeah.
Nick Smith is that guy.
A shot
Nick Smith,
maker.
what were we missing all year? We were missing a closer.
A shot maker.
We were missing, a true shot maker.
Yeah.
Like, when it gets, tight in the game, this guy can have the ball in his hands, create a shot, and make a shot.
Yeah.
Devo's not that guy. Devo scored a lot of points, but he's not that guy. Ricky has shown, he even when he was averaging like 19 points, whatever, a lot of points a game, he just wasn't that closer guy. Like, that wasn't his. That wasn't his.
Not a guy to.
Not night in, not out.
Yeah.
Night in, night out.
Whenever we go on, because we'll go on in stretches where we don't score points, and a team will go on a run, and we need Nick to be the guy to be like, give me the ball, I'm gonna end this run, and I'll go on a 4-6-0 run by myself and keep us in this game.
Capable of that.
Exactly.
And you keep 4 in the stable, and all of a sudden, that's why we're so excited. That's why we're sitting on the couch so excited today.
Devo's gonna be he's gonna be hitting threes.
He's gonna contribute.
He's
Devo
gonna
finds
contribute.
Ways to contribute. He's done it since he was a freshman. We talked about Jalen Williams earlier.
And the bigger the games, the more somehow
bright
more
like
lost
Devo.
Yeah, he
He
is.
doesn't care.
He
dude.
shows up in the bright lights. He loves it. I think he cares
He
so
does.
much about it. He loves the
No, I'm
moment.
saying he doesn't care about the bright light.
Yeah.
Like he does. It's not even like.
Well,
they're
no,
not
he
even
does.
Bright light.
Yeah, I think
No,
he
but
is.
I mean, like, he doesn't. The moment, he's not running away from the moment.
You're
he's
right.
running
Yeah,
to the.
We're agreeing.
Yeah, like okay.
He's like a theater performer. Stage lights come
Yeah.
on, action. Let's
Show
go.
up.
There's not even lights for him. It's just he's doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
He doesn't even think about it like
So
that.
it's as we get down the stretch run, it's hasn't been pretty really to get here. Like, it's been a lot of rough. There's been some rough nights. Like, there's been some ugly segments of Razorback basketball this year, but there's a lot to be excited for. Maybe not. Maybe they get bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
But it could happen. We've gone on 2 straight Elite 8 runs, and that's awesome. But that doesn't mean we're guaranteed to go on.
You hope
any
our
other.
time isn't up.
In those games, we didn't. It's not like we were playing in those games the last 2 years too, and we were just like running through teams. Dude.
No.
Like they were all of those games that we played in were heart-stopping games.
Yeah.
Tech, Oral Roberts, Baylor, and
Colgate for a while.
Colgate for a while.
Yeah.
Vermont. Everybody was picking them to beat us.
Yeah.
They were pretty close. New Mexico State was a dog game, and then who did we? Gonzaga.
We actually rolled them.
Yeah, we
did
did
kinda roll
handle
down.
them.
We did handle
I mean,
them
we
pretty
didn't like roll them.
Well, yeah, we won
We
by
had-
like 7
we were
points.
comfortable
we
for
were
a lot of the
comfortable
game.
for a while, yeah. It was still
It
a
went
good
back
game.
and forth for a period, and we were comfortable for a while. A lot of L's handed out to other teams there. I like to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
I hope for a few more this tournament.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's the thing. Hopefully we're on the right side of it. But, yeah, at the end of the day, it is NCAA tournament basketball. But
I'm excited to see this team play. I think this will be a fun SEC tournament for this team.
Yeah.
I think
win it.
some years, like, we kind of go into the tournament either we're pretty solid and it really can't help us. Like, it's not really going to help us. It's always great to win. Like, you don't want to. You're not going there to lose, but it's not always like number one priority. I think it's going to be more important just because we're going to be 8 games into our roster. Like, we're literally like 8 games into our actual roster, like playing together right now. So I think it will be uber important to kind of take those games a little more tournament prep. Like, let those guys get prepped in a
Oh,
tournament.
it's a perfect time to go on a run.
We're still looking at, the last few years we could have entered the SEC tournament. Oops, lights went out. Entered the SEC tournament, and we're okay with taking that loss because it didn't really affect our seeding as much.
Yeah.
Now this tournament will be a time to really showcase how good we are first off, but improve our seeding. I think the last 3 games of the season mixed in with the SEC tournament could really change, what seed line we will be on.
Let's say we run the table, we win the rest of our games.
I like
Love
that.
it.
Yeah.
And we win the SEC tournament.
Oh,
How high are we?
How
We're
high
up to like a 4, right?
I think so, though.
if we truly
think
won,
we're up to a
if
4.
you went on a run and you beat Tennessee, Bama, Kentucky, you would beat probably a team you lost
You
to.
would have to beat somebody like
You'd probably
Bama
beat
or
one of them
Kentucky or
again.
Auburn,
Yeah.
I think you'll probably end up a 5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4.
4
or 5.
Maybe a 4.
Yeah.
But
About
that's
where
where
we've
the
been.
parity comes in because our metrics are awesome.
That's the thing.
Our
And
metrics are great.
9 losses
Yeah.
with those metrics, 9 losses probably for most teams. That's what, like like an 8 or 9 seed probably. If you're playing in a Power 5 conference, you have some good wins, you're probably an 8 or 9 seed. But if you have, because what is it? A 4 seed is your top 20 team in the country, right?
4 seed's technically top 16.
16, and my math is stupid. 16.
We don't know math.
So, yeah, we know, but we don't claim to know math. We know ball.
Every now and again we'll know some math, but today.
But, so yeah, when our metrics, BPI, net, what's the other one? KenPom is all, like, in the top 20.
Who's this KenPom guy?
I don't know.
He really had the basketball world in a grip there for a while.
All of a sudden just came out of nowhere. Jumped on the scene.
Can we make our own metric, and then they start
It's
using
just
these kind of seem good.
Send it to the NCAA.
Man, Arkansas #1 again. Wow.
The model is actually amazing, but Arkansas always it's super accurate except for Arkansas. They are always.
We have an anomaly
loophole.
metric.
We find the loophole.
Most exciting.
What are all the metrics besides the 3 that I just named? Strength of schedule, I'm assuming is
They
one?
still do RPI, net.
Yeah.
That's the big one nowadays.
Which is
Our
crazy.
net's good.
Yeah,
That's
our net is
fantastic.
good. We
Our
lost
net
to
is better
A&M.
this year than it has been in years past.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cleaned it up.
I think we lost to A&M and we still moved up one, or maybe it was against Mississippi State and we moved up in the net, and then we lost to A&M and then moved down.
Well, the
one.
quirky thing about the A&M, I was hearing they were talking about this on the radio is, so we lost to A&M, right? Well, that moved them up to top 30 in net.
Yeah.
Which made our win over them at home a
Better.
quad
A
one
quad
win.
one,
Nice.
yeah,
So we lost the
Yeah.
game, but we picked up a quad one win. Man, we're playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
So it is. It's kind of it's the really exciting time of the year when it's getting really serious now, and it's exciting because you see a team that Arkansas is putting out there now that is capable of doing some exciting things.
Yeah.
Now, are they national title good? I would say they could. I wouldn't say they couldn't.
I'll tell you in March.
Our best basketball.
I'll tell you. Exactly.
I'll tell you
Let you know
how
in a
I feel
couple
after the
weeks.
SEC tournament. I'll let you know how I feel after our first game in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they're also
Hopefully
capable
our
of putting
second,
up a
our third, our
dud
fourth.
and losing to.
They are.
anyone.
We've seen it.
That's what we've been talking about too. Yeah, we're.
I think
capable
that's
of beating anybody. We're also capable of losing.
It's probably.
to
That's
worse
kind of
teams.
the whole. That's
the-
literally college
That's
basketball.
basketball. Yeah.
This
That's
year
the
has
sport of
been
basketball.
the parity in all of college basketball. I think people will sit down on Selection Sunday and give teams, hopefully like Arkansas, but a lot of teams out there that do have these good metrics and hopefully in the season pretty strong, a lot more favor than they're giving them this week, 2 weeks ago.
Well, it also helps that you've made 2 straight Elite Eights.
It does.
It's you don't think
Is
that
that-
perception of Muscleman,
Yeah.
that matters a lot. It matters a lot. I really don't even care what seed we are, but I would like a good draw would be awesome.
That's the more important thing.
And we've gotten pretty fortunate in the last
We've
couple
got some good
years.
draws, yeah.
Well,
Well, they were good draws because other teams beat.
there were
better
upsets.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we
like
gotta
playing
get
Oral
draws.
Roberts in the Sweet 16 a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Ended up pretty favorable, but they were good.
Really good.
I mean, they
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
There's a reason
Abrams
they
and
made the Sweet
O'Banner.
16.
Yeah.
You don't just magically wind up in the Sweet 16.
you
No matter
don't-
who you are.
you don't
You
play
had
a
2
team-
upsets already to
yeah.
get there.
You don't play a team for 40 minutes and then just get lucky. I mean, that does happen every now and again. If a team the Vanderbilt game, they shot 75% against us for 20 whole minutes, and that was insane. But most of the time, it's just that's just actually a good team. Nobody knew about them. Nobody in America really knew about them. That's the difference I think between
They had great players. They had some great players.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Max Abrams is going on now. First thing, when we played him, he was a sophomore or maybe a junior, and now he's still playing, which is that seems like from a smaller school that's something a senior does. But no, they had some great players. That Oral Roberts team was fantastic.
Whew, I'm excited. Tournament basketball there is nothing like a Hogs March Madness game. Truly,
dude,
it.
yeah.
Oh man,
I am very happy Nick Smith's playing.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be in the NBA for a long time.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be a really good player in the NBA. And we only have 1 season to watch him as a Razorback. And just selfishly or not, I really want to watch him play as a Hog. and play meaningful basketball
And
as a
dude,
Razorback.
kudos to him for actually coming back too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for wanting to come back.
Didn't have to.
And and honestly, like, we didn't really get to talk about this today, but Razorback fans were pissing me off so bad
Uh-oh.
is the rest of this
Yeah,
year, this whole year when they were talking trash on Nick Smith.
Razorback fans have the capability to be.
They
very
can be
dumb.
cancerous sometimes.
They
Oh,
can be dumb.
very-
Toxic.
A Little Rock guy
Yeah.
went to the University of Arkansas.
Number 1 recruit in the country. If he never played it's not a snap of basketball. If he never played a minute
Yeah.
for the Razorbacks, you know how important that was for our program to land the number 1 recruit in the country?
Yeah.
And he recruited AB and Jordan.
We
Walsh,
would not
too.
have
We wouldn't
AB.
got
We
him.
would not have
We wouldn't
AB.
have got them if it wasn't for him.
And the transfers.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta.
yeah. No,
They looked at the team and said, "This is a team that
These
can
guys-
hopefully go far in the tournament. I
these
want to be a
guys
part
are
of that."
nasty.
So-
yeah, it was just super frustrating to see people being like I saw one dude tweet something like
Idiot,
he
but
needs to
people
give
can
up his NIL. Yeah, they can tweet, but it's like the
Hey,
stuff
we
that
tweet.
they're saying.
Time.
You know, and Nick Smith needs to give up his NIL deal money because he's not playing for the Hogs. Like, you have a job. This is your job now. Like, play. It's like, dude, like this. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Also-
this guy's knee might be exploded. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you
Nick
don't know the
Smith
extent of what his
owes
injury was.
you nothing.
Nada.
He owes you nothing.
Nada.
Neither does any Razorback. I mean,
No.
neither does any.
mean, at the end of
Neither
the
does
day-
anyone in the world, but especially not these college. Nick Smith has. There are literally. It is millions of dollars that are at stake.
Yeah.
Like, it is
Yeah.
literally his future livelihood.
Tens of millions.
If you are an
Yeah.
Arkansas fan, you want the best for an Arkansas kid. If that means
And
he
there-
can't
and that's
play,
the thing.
that means he can't
Yeah, if
play.
that's
He's
truly
a
the best
kid.
for Nick Smith, I would be okay.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be okay with that.
It'll be
But
heartbreaking
But I
to
am.
see him tear up his knee because he
Oh.
came back too early, dude. That
But
would be.
I'm glad he is playing.
I'm glad he's healthy enough to play. Yeah, exactly. And he wanted to come back. If they were wanting to be cautious, that's fine.
I
you know?
think the takeaway from this episode is that glad to see you back, Nick. Come on the pod.
Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. You know ball.
Yeah.
You know a little ball.
We've been talking about
know
how much
Little
you know
Rock.
ball.
Yeah. Home city, dude. You're back home. I'll send you an Addy.
That's true.
Link up.
Hey, we'll provide something.
Good time. Good food. Good food.
Yeah, we'll get.
My mom's a great hugger. I got it all in the fray.
Yeah.
But first/second episode, I think it went well.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff.
Ask us some questions.
Really, please ask some questions. That would be awesome. We would love to answer any
We need
questions.
topics. We can come up with the topics, but topics from the viewers are always fun.
But outside of all that, like, commenting and subscribing stuff you could do, we just want you around for the second episode.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing it.
Just loop back in with us.
Yeah. You got some time. You said, hey, man, that sounds pretty good. These guys do know a little ball.
Yeah.
They weren't BSing me.
Well,
here.
they like to hear themselves talk about knowing ball,
Yeah. Well, that's
and hopefully you can enjoy that. Like, it's kind of the point.
Yeah,
it's
that
just
is-
meant to be enjoyable ball talk.
that is all it is. And just adding and growing. And thank you for watching.
Stretch run, go Hogs.